The Nordic hamstring curl is one of the most impressive lower body calisthenics movements. It's a closed chain hamstring curl, meaning the feet are anchored and you're curling the body from the knee up. Not only are Nordics an impressive feat of strength and great for building muscle, they've also been shown to reduce the risk of hamstring injury. Full reps are very challenging, but with specific training, many can unlock the Nordic in under a year. To do Nordic curls, the feet must be anchored under something sturdy. This can be done with a base bench, furniture at home, or someone holding your feet down. Throughout the exercise, we want the body to be straight and rigid, with the only movement occurring at the knee. A slight bend at the hips is fine, but try to keep this minimal. The primary muscles used are the hamstrings and calves. Most are aware the hamstrings flex the knee and think of the calf muscles as plantar flexors. However, the gastrocnemius also crosses the knee joint and assists with knee flexion. If you're trying to grow your calves, Nordics can provide an additional stimulus beyond calf raises. As the gastrocs work at both the knee and ankle, foot position will influence your strength in the hamstring curl. With the foot pointed, the muscle will be shortened and in a suboptimal position for force output. To maximize strength, I encourage dorsiflexing the ankle as it puts the muscle at a favorable length. Another tip that can be helpful is to support the feet rather than just the heel. Personally, I like putting the base bench close to a wall with my feet touching it. While the only movement in the Nordic occurs at the knee joint, they work more than just the knee flexors. To keep the body rigid, your lower back and glutes must also work isometrically. To make the movement as efficient as possible, keep your arms by your sides and depress your shoulder blades. Lifting your arms will increase the challenge as it distributes your weight further from the knee. In the Nordic, you support your entire body weight on your knees and just the kneecaps as you descend. While it's rare, this can lead to injury and it's something I've personally experienced. Here, you can see my kneecap pop out to the side, even with a padded surface. To stop this from happening, I like to use a foam mat with 2 small cutouts. This way, no weight is taken through the kneecaps during the entire movement. While most people are fine with just a padded surface, consider this option if you feel apprehensive. Not only can this reduce injury risk, but if it relieves discomfort, it will allow you to train harder. You can also keep the kneecaps free with support stopping lower down the shin. Personally, I find this uncomfortable and it can place your posterior cruciate ligament under significant stress. Now that technique's been covered, here are some progressions to help you unlock the Nordic. The Nordic rollout is a great introductory exercise to the Nordic curl. This can be done with an ab wheel, a barbell, or a rolling chair. Anchor your feet and grip the wheel. Then roll out as far as you can before returning to the starting position and repeating for reps. Unlike the ab wheel rollout, the goal here is to use the knee flexors rather than your core. Make a conscious effort to use the legs and try to be as light through the hands as possible. If you don't have access to a wheel, you can also just walk your hands out and back in. Initially, this can be done with the hips bending as you approach the top. As you become more competent, try to keep the hips straight and lift the wheel off the ground. To further increase the challenge, limit the portion through which you use the wheel. To make Nordics less challenging, you can do them with assistance from a band. This can be done using a few different methods. One option is to anchor a band above you and hold it in front of or place it around your chest. The band will stretch as you lower and provide more assistance the deeper you go. Another method I like is with the band folded over the base bar. Place the bar in front of you and grip the band. Then extend your arms overhead as you move to the bottom of the Nordic. With this method, be careful not to tip the bar by pulling horizontally. This will limit how much you can use the band as you approach the top. By using an incline or setting the knees above the feet, you reduce the difficulty of Nordics. This is because your weight doesn't extend as far from the knees horizontally as when doing them on a flat surface. In other words, the lever arm of resistance is reduced. It also reduces the range of motion you travel through, but removes the easy portion at the top rather than the harder part at the bottom. On the Nordic Plus, you can adjust the setting to change the degree of incline. The closer the bench to horizontal, the harder the reps become. If you're using the base bench, you can still do incline Nordics by elevating one side. Personally, I like to use the strong blocks to achieve this. Note that with this method, you'll be limited in how much of an incline you can use. Negatives are a great way to build strength, as you can work at higher intensities than you can with full reps. Perform the lowering phase of a Nordic in a slow and controlled manner. Strive to make each negative last roughly 5 seconds, and try to descend at an even pace. This will ensure you don't bypass any weak points and that strength is built through the entire range. Once you reach the bottom, push or walk your hands back to the starting position and repeat for reps. If full negatives are too challenging, you can do them on an incline or use bands to reduce the difficulty. With hip hinge Nordics, you start from a kneeling position and bend your hips to bring your nose to the ground. The further you extend your nose in front of you, the harder these become. To be able to measure progress, set a target to bring your nose to with each rep. Initially, try to keep the thighs roughly vertical and only move at the hips. As you get stronger, set the target further away to incorporate more knee extension. To keep these challenging toward the top of the movement, try to limit the thigh from moving past vertical. That is, don't let your hip move past your knee joint. Back extensions work the lower back, glutes, and hamstrings. These are a great accessory that can speed progress with your Nordics. Anchor the feet and keep your torso rigid as you flex and extend the hips. To increase the challenge, you can add weight with a vest or hold a dumbbell. Note, where you hold the weight will influence the difficulty. To ensure progress, keep this consistent and increase the weight over time. If you want to incorporate the hamstrings more, leave a slight bend in the knees. In addition to these specific exercises, training the constituent muscles can help speed progress. For instance, hamstring curls and deadlift variations can add variety to your training and provide an extra stimulus for hamstring growth. For training routines to help with your Nordics, check out my Nordic Curl programs in the BaseBlocks Plus app.